The Apex Court, in a unanimous decision by a five-member panel led by Justice Mohammed Garba, dismissed as lacking in merits the appeal the candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Asue Ighodalo, filed to nullify the outcome of the September 2024 Edo Governorship Election. The court ruled that it found no reason to set aside the concurrent judgments of both the Court of Appeal and the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which affirmed Senator Monday Okpebholo of the APC as the valid winner of the election. It held that the appellant failed to adduce credible and admissible evidence to substantiate his claims that the election was marred by irregularities that included overvoting and substantial non-compliance with provisions of the Electoral Act. Likewise, it held that the appellant failed to call relevant witnesses to demonstrate some of the evidence he tendered in support of his case, especially the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) machines. It held that some of the proof of evidence which were tendered from the bar were merely dumped on the tribunal without establishing alleged non-compliance in 432 out of the total of 4,519 polling units in the state.
In all of this, we have been saying that a dead petition was brought to the tribunal. You cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. Now they brought a dead petition. The petition came into the tribunal dead on arrival. Now they were not satisfied. They went to the Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal affirmed the decision of the tribunal. They were not satisfied also. They also went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court today then said those things they could not prove that this election was invalid. They could not prove that there was overvoting. Therefore, it was a mere academic exercise, and they threw the petition out to the dustbin. We are glad today that the people have spoken, God has spoken, and every person in Edo State will have spoken.
Asue Ighodalo had in the appeal marked LC/CV/536/2025 prayed to courts to invalidate the May 29 verdict of the Court of Appeal, which dismissed his case and affirmed Okpebholo's victory. The PDP candidate maintained that the appellate court failed to properly evaluate the case he brought to challenge the outcome of the poll, which he insisted was not conducted with substantial compliance to provisions of the Electoral Act. The Supreme Court had on 2nd of July reserved its judgment after all the parties adopted their final briefs of arguments. While the appellant, the PDP, urged the courts to obtain the substituting judgments and declared that he secured the highest number of valid votes and therefore ought to be declared the winner of the election. On the other hand, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Governor Monday Okpebholo, and the APC persuaded the court to dismiss the appeal and uphold the results of the election.
The case is now over, and it's time for us to build Edo. In line with our campaign promises, we have promised Edo people that we're going to transform them. And now that the case is over, we thank everybody. But most importantly, we want to go back to build our state, to unite everybody in line with what the governor believed in. He wants to bring everybody, regardless of your political party, wants to bring everybody together for the interests of Edo people. And lastly, we want to also hit the ground running. The 2027 is around the corner. We are going to campaign rigorously for Asiwaju, for return of Asiwaju back to the State House. Asue Ighodalo is our brother, and he's going to join distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo to build Edo. Thank you very much.
The governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for this victory. For me, no victor, no vanquish. We are all from Edo State. When I used to grow up, we used to hear that the judges, they are next to God, and they are giving their judgments, and nothing anyone can do. It's for us all to go back home as Edo people, to support the governor, to make sure we build Edo. As the Speaker of the House, I am a member. We join hands together with the governor to make sure we take Edo State forward.
We give glory to God for this judgment. Eventually, this whole matter has, been put to rest, and I believe that all of us who are from Edo State should join hands together, both those that lost at the Supreme Court and those of us that won here. We still believe that there is no victor, there is no vanquished. We are all the same. Let us join hands in building our state. Join the governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, to build our state. There is no time for bickering anymore. And again, Edo State is a subset of Nigeria. We want to support our president, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to build this country. And we need everybody in Edo to pull hand together to be able to join the president to create a new Nigeria, where Nigerians will feel fulfilled and of course our lives will be better.
Congratulations to everybody in Edo State. Thanking everybody that came out September 21st to give His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebholo their mandate. And this is a testament that this is who the people want. And we are so thankful and grateful. A new Edo has come under His Excellency, and the women of Edo State, we are in for a jolly good run.
They should join us. In any case, they don't have a party again. There's no party PDP. They should be reminding us of a PDP should join the APC. Let's straighten and we will accept them.
Recall that the INEC declared that Senator Monday Okpebholo of the APC secured a total of 291,667 votes to defeat his closest rival, Asue Ighodalo of the PDP, who got a total of 247,655 votes. Dissatisfied with the results, the petitioners approached the tribunal, alleging that the election was not conducted in substantial compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022. The PDP and its candidate Asue Ighodalo alleged that Governor Okpebholo did not secure the highest number of lawful votes that were cast at the election. It was equally the contention of the petitioners that INEC failed to serialize and pre-record some of the sensitive election materials that were deployed for the poll, a situation they said aided the rigging of the election in favor of the APC and its candidates. Specifically, the PDP and its candidates alleged that there was wrong computation of results in 765 polling units in the state, even as they produced 19 witnesses that testified and tendered exhibits before the tribunal. Among the exhibits the petitioners tendered before the tribunal included a total of 153 bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS machines that were used in 133 polling units. According to the petitioners, results from the polling units were manipulated at the collation centers, a situation they said resulted in overvoting in favor of Governor Monday Okpebholo. In its judgment, the tribunal held that the petitioners failed to, by way of credible evidence, establish why the outcome of the election should be set aside. It held that the onus of proving that Governor Okpebholo was unduly retained by the INEC rested squarely on the petitioners, a legal burden it said was not successfully discharged. The tribunal stressed that the PDP and its candidates merely dumped exhibits before it without demonstrating them through competent witnesses as required by the law. It held that most of the witnesses who testified for the petitioners gave hearsay evidence, stressing that failure to produce polling units agents, presiding officers or voters who participated in the election to testify proved fatal to the case of the petitioners. The tribunal held that Section 137 of the Electoral Act did not preclude the petitioners from producing necessary and competent witnesses to testify in support of their case. It further dismissed the contention of the petitioners that, contrary to the provision of Section 73, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act, INEC failed to pre-record most of the materials that were deployed for the election. More so, the tribunal held that none of the BVAS machines tendered before it were switched on to demonstrate that the number of votes recorded in the disputed polling units exceeded the total number of accredited voters. Following the affirmation of the judgment by the appellate court, Ighodalo took his case before the Supreme Court, where he also lost this Thursday. Jude Aweke reporting for VOS TV News Benin.